What's up, Psych class? Time to lead you guys down the roadmap of my life. Alright, so to start off with, when I was 3, my cousin Stevie introduced me to the band Metallica, which sparked my love of the heavy metal genre, which I still have to this day. Funny thing is though, it didn't really start until my teen years that I started really getting into metal, because all throughout the 90s and stuff, almost all I listened to was pop, and Metallica was the only hard band I listened to. So go figure, right? Moving on. So when I was 6, I broke my left arm on the monkey bars. It really was not pleasant, and it's probably, I think, was the reason that I have what some people would call an irrational aversion to pain nowadays. I don't really see why it would be irrational. I mean, I think it's pretty normal to not enjoy pain. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Scream was a movie that had a profound effect on me. Well, I first saw it when I was 8 years old, and at the time it scared the crap out of me. Like, I had nightmares. Every time a commercial would come on for it or one of the sequels, I'd hide, right? 5 years later, when I decided that I would rent it and face my fear, I'm like, this movie's great, I love this, and it is now currently my favorite movie. Check it out. I even have the trilogy box set. And it started me on my love of horror movies, which includes, you know, Jason, Freddy, Halloween, the I Know What You Did Last Summer movies, the Exorcist, the Evil Dead movies. I love it all. When I was 9, the choice was made for me to move in with my father. And this, I have to say, was probably a pretty good choice. Because, I mean, while I love my mom so much, at the time, she wasn't exactly America's best parent. I mean, she wasn't bad, but not really that great either. She's improved, definitely, but, you know, that time was a bit rocky. But this definitely has affected the person that I am these days, because being around my father more, I've started to act more like him. I'm sure some of you have noticed, like, if I see something that's kind of a trip, I'll be like, aha! I got that from him. Probably some other stuff, but that's really the only thing that comes to mind right now. Up until about halfway through 7th grade, I had like kind of long Dawson's Creek kind of hair. Y'all seen it. But after so many people like kind of picking on me about it and urging me to get it cut, like Steven, guilty, man. I finally decided to go and get it cut short and spiky. And it was kind of disappointing now that I look back at it, because it was kind of a loss of self a little bit. I mean, since then, I've grown it back out and cut it again like maybe twice. I think I'll probably grow it back out again sometime next year. Next school year, I mean. But at the time, I mean, it was weird. I wasn't used to my head being that light. But, that pretty much marks the point where I started caring a lot more about my hair. Because up until like the time I was like maybe 10 or 11, I was more or less oblivious to the fact that I had hair. Some people still are. And then I started like kind of messing a little bit, but then once I started like gelling it, I was off and running. I became obsessed. And that's pretty much where I stand now. very much a hair person. In November of 8th grade, when I was 14, actually I was still 13 then, I met Paul Dotson, who convinced me to start learning how to play guitar, and I've been playing ever since then. And honestly, by rights, I really should be a lot better than I am, but I don't really practice as often as I should, or try to learn new songs as often as I should. But I mean, as it is, I'm fairly content with where I am. I mean, it would be nice to like do a proper solo, because what you saw just then was a melody line, not a solo. But I'll get there. In 8th grade, I started a little team of inline skating people with my friends Chris Collins and Nick Rainey, and it was really fun and stuff. We were inspired by that Disney movie Brink. And I really wish I could show y'all a clip of us skating, but none of us have a camera at the time, and none of us skate anymore, of course. But it was really good times. I miss it, you know, but oh well. Also in 8th grade, Sarah Bryant got me into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I didn't think it was going to be that good of a show. I now own all 7 seasons on DVD, plus all 5 seasons of the spin-off Angel. I think that should probably tell you something about the quality of the show. But it's definitely shaped who I am, and occasionally how I dress, because Angel's very well dressed. But around last year sometime, I realized that one does not necessarily have to dress metal to be metal. I realized this when I saw my cousin Stevie, the one that got me into metal. I noticed that he was more or less one of the preppiest looking dudes you would ever see, and yet is into some of the most hardcore bands ever. So I decided to just start dressing in what was comfortable as opposed to what I thought looked cool. That doesn't look very metal, does it? And lastly, but certainly not leastly, just recently I got into University of West Georgia, and trying to get scholarships and everything there, and hopefully I'll be able to make videos like this for a living, and you know, I mean, but we'll see how that pans out. Wish me luck.
The crunch and show as the sweet breeze blow, as all kindness gone.